All right, you're looking to move to Austin or somewhere in Central Texas. Either you got a job transfer here or you heard about how amazing life is in Austin, Texas, but you really don't know where to start. You're not sure about the neighborhoods. You don't know what part of town you want to live in. You just don't know a lot and you're just starting out. You found the right YouTube channel. So what I do in videos like this one is I visit different neighborhoods around Austin and I show you what you can get, 3 different price points. The neighborhood that I am in today is called the Mueller development. Now, you can take a look at this video over here and I went into a little bit more depth on Mueller. This video is about my favorite neighborhoods in Austin, under $1 million. Mueller's in it, but I go into a little bit more detail about the neighborhood in that. In this one, it's going to be a little bit more about 3 houses that you could potentially buy and house styles and things like that. So what I want to point out here is just a little bit of a recap. Mueller's only about 10 minutes from downtown Austin. It's just off of I-35. This is probably the first urban subdivision in Austin. Mueller, and it's pronounced Mueller, it's not Miller, it's just so you know. But Mueller has been around for a little while now, but they're still building new homes. This is the site of the original Austin airport. This is the first airport that I flew out of when I was a kid back in the 80s. And right now, you can't even tell that the airport was here. There is the old tower that's still on the grounds. They kept the old control tower. But at that time, ABIA, where the airport is now, was an Air Force base and going back into, into the World Wars. But they moved this out, the airport, because this was so close to downtown. They wanted to clean up those traffic patterns and stuff like that. So they moved the airport out to ABIA. Anyway, what is left is an urban community, and you've got houses for everybody. You've got attached wall condos, there's apartments here, single family standalone homes, and kind of everything in between. Price points are going to start around $500,000, and remember, most of these houses are built within the past 10 years and some brand new ones. So your price point's going to start around $500,000 and it's going to go up to $2 million. But the biggest things that you're going to find here are neat homes, unique homes, and that urban feel close to absolutely everything. I'm walking through, there's a great park here, and you got a little playscape there. Behind me, you can't see it because I'm in the wrong spot, but there's a swimming pool here. This is just a park that's in the middle of the neighborhood. And if you're looking for a neighborhood that's close to downtown for commuting, or even close to the tech corridor, the new Samsung plant is probably about 30 minutes from here. Tesla down by the airport is about 30 minutes from here. The airport's about 25. So you're right in the middle of everything here, being so close to downtown Austin. So that's why people move to Mueller. But the other thing is, this whole neighborhood is walkable. You've got all kinds of shopping here. You've got a giant H-E-B, your grocery store, Dell Children's Medical Center. This is where Dell Children's Medical Center is. So, if you work there or you have a need for that medical facility, this is where you are going to want to be. But it's also really, really popular with younger people because it's close into downtown, all the nightlife and stuff like that. Again, it is walkable. Uber and all that stuff is really easy to find. This is Austin's quintessential urban neighborhood. Now, I've talked a lot about it. Let's get in and take a look at what kind of houses you can get here. I'm going to take you through 3 houses, 3 different price points. The first one's going to be just over $600,000. The next one after that is going to be about $850,000, and then the last one's going to be just over $1 million. But it's going to give you an idea of the size and the feel and all of that stuff for these houses. So let's go take a look at what you can buy under $1 million in Mueller, close to downtown Austin. Let's go. All right, so let's get things kicked off here in Mueller, right around that $600,000 price point. So being this close to downtown Austin, and by the way, tax rate under 2%, which is really, really good. We're dealing with higher prices right now. Being this close to downtown Austin, you're gonna give up a few things. Now, one of the things that you're gonna give up is a standalone house. So these are attached wall duplexes, which means you share one wall with your neighbor. So they're duplexes, they're condos. You still own your property, you own your house, but it does have that attached wall. Now, these are a newer build, and even though, I just kind of stand here in the middle and pop around, these are brand new construction. And you can see there's a little bit of old school, the siding, that feels a little bit older, but also at the same time, that you're dealing with newer modern construction when you start seeing roof lines like this. you know, those shed roof lines. That's a popular thing right now, and that's what these newer builds in Mueller are going to give you. A little bit more contemporary, modern styling. You could call it transitional, whatever you want to call it, but it's just that it's a little bit newer design aesthetic. When we get into some of the older houses here in a little bit, it's going to feel completely different. And that area that we're going to go to next also has larger trees and stuff like that because it's been built out now for 10, 15 years. You know, these trees are just now coming in. So again, brand new construction, you're going to have to deal with a maturing landscape. But as we get past this, I'll let you know. This house is almost 1,300 square feet, listed at just under 620. So your price per square foot is down a little bit, but again, it's because you have that shared wall, so they can't charge as much because they're cheaper to build also. But this is the house right here behind me. You can see still has that kind of modern styling, and you can see right here the house that it's next to is attached. But when you go inside this thing, man, you talk about nice amenities inside the home. It is absolutely beautiful. And then when you start throwing in things like the modern countertops and the flooring and all of that, and plus when you buy a new home, you get 1 year, basically a bumper to bumper warranty, a 2-year mechanicals warranty, and then a 10-year foundation warranty. When you throw that stuff in, sometimes it makes a lot of sense. Even if you don't necessarily want to be attached to another building, sometimes it just makes sense to, you know, especially if you're just moving to Austin, to start out with something like this. Because I'm telling you, as close as this is to downtown Austin, and as much as they maintain this neighborhood, your values are going to be safe here. They're going to be solid, and you can always convert these things into a rental down the way. Because again, with a community like Mueller, with all the things that I've told you about it, and just being a completely walkable community, your value here is going to be solid. So even if you weren't necessarily thinking about an attached wall condo, it could make sense in cases like this. Now, I'm gonna go on as we start walking towards the other houses. I'm gonna remind you, right now, we are about a half mile from the park that I introduced us at. We're about a quarter mile from H-E-B. There's an elementary and a middle school here. And if you're a golfer, there's also, they call it Mueller. Morris Williams is the golf course. It's an old Austin municipal golf course, but Mueller is literally right around the corner. I can almost, when I was driving here, I could see the driving range. It's right there, just maybe 200 or 300 yards down the road from the spot. So really everything you need. And if you're looking for a little bit more of an urban feel, I mean, Mueller's got it all, and it's at $620,000. That's a hard price point this close to downtown Austin. All right, so let's go take a look at house number 2. Again, we're going to be $850,000 price point. This is an older built home in a more established part of Mueller, so you're going to be able to tell the difference. The feel is different as you're walking down the sidewalks over there, but it's still going to have all of the same amenities that are available to something like this. Let's go take a look at that one. Okay, now as we're walking to the second house, again, we're going up in price point. We're going to look at about $850,000 on this one. This is a standalone home. The last one, again, was an attached wall. This section of Mueller, I'm going to kind of give you a look around. So when you replace an old airport in a city and it's close to downtown, what they tried to do with this was mimic kind of the houses in the surrounding areas that had been built. So what you're going to see a lot of, 2 different architectural styles. One is going to be more modern, sleek, and a lot of that's going to be that attached wall condo type stuff. But then a lot of these other houses are going to be bungalow style. They're going to look like something that you would have seen built in the 30s or 40s. And they're going to be rear load garages. So here you got behind them, you can see that there's garages down. This is how you would get into your garage in the back. Yards are going to be a little bit smaller. Good morning. Yards are going to be a little bit smaller, and again, the houses here are just going to be a little bit more unique. This isn't what you're going to find in your large master plan communities out in the suburbs. You know, you look at some of the colors like this here, and it's a different feeling. It feels like houses that are in a little, like where I grew up in Shiner, Texas. That's what the feeling is as you walk down here. Now, these houses, a lot of these were built 2008, 2009, 2010, and so the trees are actually starting to mature a little bit. And you know me, I'm a huge fan of these big trees. And so it gives this just that really nice downtown but not like a new downtown, not like downtown Austin, like an old school downtown Mayberry kind of feel. You can walk through here. You got these great sidewalks. Again, this whole thing is walkable. You can get over to all of the shopping and stuff, which is over closer to 35. And as I mentioned that it's all over closer to 35, aside from the lawnmower, it's quiet here. The way that they set the neighborhood up is they front loaded everything by 35 with the shopping and Dell Medical Center, like I said, and all of that. This is farther back removed from I-35, so it's just a lot quieter as you get over here. It really feels like living in small town USA when you're back in here. Now, as you start driving out, obviously you know that you're in Austin, and then you start seeing the modern builds and things like that. But just overall, you know, I'll give you a picture of this porch here. You know, that's not something that you see in Austin aside from downtown Austin, and the price points in here are obviously a lot better than downtown Austin because, you know, the house isn't a mile from the Capitol or whatever. All right, so let's take a look at the house that I'm talking about. All right, right over there, you can see it's got a great little bungalow feel to it, right? Cool colors, about 1,439 square feet. It does have that rear load garage on it, built in 2009, listed at $850. It's about $590, just shy of $600 a foot, which for this location, under $600 a foot is a really good deal. So this is what you can expect in that, call it $800,000 to $900,000 price range. It's going to be houses that look like this. And if that house doesn't scream home to you, you know, maybe you want something a little more modern or something like that. But man, that thing just screams home to me. It feels homey. It feels like a place that I want to walk into. So again, that's what you're looking for or looking at here in that price point in Mueller. Now, let's go take a look at what that $1 million price point will buy you. This one's pretty cool. All right, let's go see. Now, as we're heading over to this other house, I stopped by the lake here. I was hearing a bullfrog and a big old Texas bullfrog. You could hear that big croak. But want to remind you, if this is the kind of content that you're looking for, make sure you're subscribing to this channel, clicking that little bell notification. I do videos like this multiple times a week. What you see is what you get with me. I am not going to sugarcoat things. I'm going to give you the good, bad, the ugly, and everything else about Austin. So if this is the kind of content that you're looking for, make sure you subscribe. Okay, let's go take a look at this other house. All right, we're going to wrap up. We're going to go up to $1 million. I mentioned that you can buy houses up in here up to $2 million, and most of those are a little bit older. Some of the newer ones can get up around 1.5. But if you pay attention to my channel and the neighborhoods that I really like, you know that I love stuff with outdoor space. So you can tell I've taken a lot of videos of, you know, hike and bike trails in Mueller. Some of those have Austin that it's so close to downtown that you've got the sky as you're hiking and biking and jogging and stuff like that. Wanted to take a second just to show you this other huge park. It's a giant open area. It's nice to be outside, especially, you know, when you're doing something you love, like fishing or hiking or playing with dogs, playing with your kids, whatever. And Mueller, it is this urban neighborhood. Gives you a huge opportunity to be outside nonstop. Again, I mentioned, you know, walkable and bikeable and all that other stuff. I mean, if you work from home, you never have to start your car up. Like New York City here, you can sell your dang car and just, you know, ride your bike to the grocery store or to any of the restaurants and stuff here in Mueller. So just, if it's an urban lifestyle that you're looking for, I cannot recommend Mueller high enough. It is absolutely amazing from that standpoint. Now, let's take a look at this last house here. I'm walking down this big grassy hill. Y'all can see behind me that park. So this house is directly across the park from the park. Built in 2009. It is listed at $1,050,000, 2,400 square feet, so about $437 a foot. But again, look at, here it is right here. Look at the facade on this. You don't see houses like this built in master plan communities very often. The Mueller developers were very specific with how they were designing their houses. You can see the neighbors there to either side. They wanted to give it that old Austin feel, and this is the styling of houses that were built in Austin, a lot more, you know, earlier in the 1900s, 1920s, 1930s. I sold a couple of houses, you know, in downtown Austin that looked just like this, that were built in the 1906 or 1907, something like that. So that's what they were trying to do, and man, did they crush it with these designs. You're gonna see inside, absolute beautiful layout, you know, your countertops and everything else, even though it's '09, it feels more modern inside than that. They just did such a great job. And again, for being the first urban master plan community in Austin, I can't say enough times how much they crushed their designs, how well the builders did, the whole layout of the community, you know, putting the houses further away from I-35, like I mentioned. It just, you can't say enough good things about this. So if this is your style, urban, you need to be close to downtown, you need to be close to the nightlife and the restaurants and all of that stuff, guys, Mueller is an incredible place. Oh, and I almost forgot, the H-E-B here, people talk about talk about Texas barbecue. And look, I'm from Texas. I grew up on Texas barbecue, and I'm gonna tell you, it starts and ends with brisket, because I mean, you can make good turkey and ribs and chicken and all this other stuff, but Texas barbecue starts and ends with brisket. And the H-E-B in the Mueller development has won awards for the brisket that they make and serve in their cafe. Their brisket there is damn good. It's an H-E-B store, guys. It's a grocery store. That's what people don't understand about Texas and Austin and H-E-B, which is a San Antonio company. Like, we do stuff right here. So anyway, guys, if this is the kind of content you are looking for, make sure that you are clicking that subscribe notification, that bell notification, bell icon, all that stuff, because this is what I bring you multiple times a week. I bring you content on Austin. What is it like to live in Austin? Where do you want to live in Austin? What type of houses can you find in Austin? That's what you find here on this channel. All right, till next time, Chris Peshek. We'll talk to you soon.